Hello, you guys. Come on in the room, okay? That's just what I'm going to say to start this off. Come on in the room. Let me know that you are here. Say hello. Drop a hashtag live if you're catching this live. Drop a hashtag replay if you are catching the replay. Let me know where you're tuning in from because I went live last week with my friend and partner, Alex Moffat, talking about Kirk Franklin. And this week, we're going to be talking about Derek Jackson. And, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this is an easy topic for me to talk about because it isn't. Like, my heart is truly saddened by this, but yet here we are. My job and my goal as a coach and a woman's advocate is to educate you so that you don't have to go through the same repetitive cycle of falling into the manipulation that happens with some men in this world. And I'm being intentional by saying some men because not all men are bad, but some of them are. Some of them are intentionally using their gifts to manipulate us into doing things and believing things. So here we are. Hello, Veronica. Hello, Landy. Hello, you guys. Thank you for being here. If you're here, say hello. I want to know you're here. We're going to get into this good old conversation about Derek Jackson. Not that I really want to have this conversation and it doesn't bring me any joy to talk about this, but I'm here to educate you to make sure that you're not falling into the same traps because what is happening in our world today is happening every single day. It's just that many of us don't have the fame and the fortune that puts us in the spotlight. So therefore we suffer in silence. And I am on a hashtag She Speaks movement. Like no more will our voices be silenced. No more will we fall in prey. No more will you have to suffer in silence. Not under my watch, not as long as I'm around. I'm always going to speak up and step in where nobody else feels that it is necessary. So without further ado, for those of you guys who are new to my broadcast, make sure, or what am I saying? For those of you guys who are new to my broadcast, my name is Crystal Timberlake. I am a healing and leadership coach. I help women overcome the residual effects of trauma and abuse so that they can step into their true identity and live a life with purpose on purpose. My sole purpose here, as I mentioned earlier, is to help women like literally become familiar with, be experts at identifying red flags so that they don't fall prey to men who are manipulating them, to narcissists whose only sole intention is self. Okay. I'm here to let you know that true love does exist. Even when you've been through the toughest times in life, I'm telling you there's life on the other side of it. But first you have to do the work to heal and become aware of what the tactics are of these narcissists and these abusers, these manipulators. And then 3, be equipped with the tools and knowledge of identifying red flags. So if you guys are feeling this discussion, make sure you share this out. Drop me some hearts. Send me some love. Engage with me in the comments. I want to hear from you. I want to know where you're tuning in from. I want to know if any of this sounds familiar. Have any of you guys been through this situation? So for those of you guys who don't know who Derek Jackson is, he is a famous relationship guru. He has built his entire foundation on he's quote unquote says that he's a Christian and he's built his entire foundation on helping women basically identify red flags and helping them to navigate narcissistic and abusive relationships by helping them get out and giving them advice, giving them tips and tricks. And he has a huge following. Derek Jackson is a millennial. I'll just put that out there. I think he's about 32 years old. So people flock to him because he has charisma. He has swag. Okay, he's a nice little chocolate brown skinned brother, whatever. But he uses his platform to quote unquote educate people. However, it's been found recently leaked that he's been using his platform to actually take advantage of the very women who he says that he's there to help. Hello, Malcolm King. Thank you for being here. So I don't even know that much about this guy, Derek. However, what I do know is that he's married. He's been married to his wife who has his children since 2018, I believe. However, him and his wife have been in a relationship for about 14 years. They've been dating since college, and recently There was allegations that have come out saying that Derek Johnson is a serial cheater, a serial manipulator, and some have even said that he is a narcissist in its purest form. If you guys don't know, I specifically teach women how to identify red flags as it relates to narcissism, because it's so easy to let it go over your head that you may not even know what it is you're dealing with, okay? So as it relates to Derek Jackson, I just want you guys to really understand that this isn't a live video to slander him at all, but to educate my women. I am pro help women. That is what I'm all about. This isn't about Derek. This is not to give him more clout, because, okay, he already trended. He don't need me to trend even more. But I want you guys to be educated on some of the tactics that actually happen. So with Derek Jackson, he married his wife, or he proposed to his wife after he had been cheating on her. And he proposed to her with the hopes that she would marry him and then that they could make amends to the relationship. She did decide to marry him for whatever reason, but the cheating never stopped. He uses his Instagram platform to actually hook up with women. Women come to him for advice about how to get over an abusive relationship, a toxic relationship, and he uses that as an opportunity to actually have sex with them. This is all wrong. It's all wrong. I just want you guys to know. And he just preys on the women who comes to him for advice, and that's terrible, okay? What we do know is that there's been several mistresses who have come forward and talked about their affairs that they've had with Derek. And Derek, time over time, everybody said the same thing, that, you know, he always claimed that he was getting a divorce, that him and his wife were no longer going to be together. And he had this penthouse up in Atlanta where he was taking all his side chicks to have his affair. Okay, that's what he was doing. He was lying to them and he was lying to his wife at the same time. Here's the part that grinds my gears when it comes to Derek Jackson's situation. It's no secret that everybody knows that I'm a Christian and I believe in God. But what I do not like, and I've been a person who's been hurt by the church. So let me preface this by saying that I understand church hurt. However, it is people like Derek Jackson who give the wrong impression of what it is like to have a relationship with God. He's using God as an excuse for his behavior. He's saying that he was angry with God, so he was rebelling. And this rebellion came out as him acting out in sexual ways and stepping outside of his marriage. I want to just tell you guys, if you're going to admit to your mistakes, just admit to your mistakes. You ain't got to throw God in here. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, Derek Jackson's wife is a woman of God. She is like, you know, a woman of God, period. That's what I'm just gonna say. I'm not gonna put any titles on it, but he said that he got his life together. He got saved because he wanted to make his relationship work with his wife. And even when that didn't work, he still got mad at God and he stepped out of his marriage as a rebellious phase. I'm not a person who believes that you can just throw God in a mix and say that this is the reason why this is happening. That is not appropriate, and that is not a good analogy to use as it relates to Christian people. So if you are somebody who has never experienced God for yourself, or if you are just getting the facts from other people, I want you to study the word for yourself. I'm not going to come on here and preach to you today because you guys know how I am, but I'm just going to tell you, you can't believe everything you hear. And like I put in the description of this video, you got to be aware of the sheep's and wolf clothing, or the wolves and sheep clothing is what I meant to say, because it's so important. Somebody, Jasmine says, who is Derek? I'm going to need to Google this guy. Please do. Derek Jackson is his name. I put his name up in the description of this video because it's just ridiculous. He's a nobody. It's so many words. And why am I saying he's a nobody? Because what he did was so low. And the reason why my heart is aching is because Derek clearly has manipulated his wife into believing whatever, and she's deciding to stay in the marriage. And I understand. I creeped on her Instagram. You guys know I'm going to go do some fact checking before I get on here talking about some stuff. And his wife, she's hurting. She reminds me of the women who are going through narcissistic abuse or any kind of trauma and abuse. And she clearly is screaming for help, except she just can't find a way out. She does not have the strength to leave right now. And for that, My heart aches for her. So on today, this ain't about Derek Jackson. You guys can go and Google him and Google this shenanigans that's going on in his life. You can see his little half apology that he gave, where he basically is saying, yep, I cheated, but we're moving on from this, and I'm gonna sell my book. I'm gonna promote my book off of this platform that he's created, this mess. Oh, I forgot to mention, he wrote a book about how to heal a broken marriage from this mess that he went through, and now he's using all this publicity to sell his book. It's just wrong on so many levels, you guys, so many levels. So today, what I came here to talk to you about is how you actually avoid getting yourself into these kinds of situations. We're going to talk about how you actually learn to identify the red flags, because let me tell you, it's so easy to fall into these situations where these men are manipulating you and feeding you all these lies, but then they're doing all the right things, saying all the right things. And next thing you know, you 14 years in this thing and you trying to figure out, where has my life gone? Like, what happened to my life? And that's exactly where Derek's wife is right now. Though she's choosing to stay, which I get it, you know, sometimes it takes us a minute to get up out of them situations where we being manipulated and gaslighted and love bombed. And if you guys don't know what that means, if you a woman, join my group, Love After Trauma Abuse, because I have several videos telling you what these things are. So I'm not going to spend my time going into what that means today, but if you know, you know. So we're going to talk about what narcissism is. Narcissism is a personality disorder that comes with an inflated sense of self, a deep need for excessive attention or admiration, repeated troubled relationships, lack of empathy for others. And I'm just going to tell you, if you go and look at the half of an apology video that Derek Johnson get, he definitely fits the box of lack of empathy, because not once did he have remorse for his wife. There's no remorse for what he did with his wife. He just wants to redeem himself in hopes that people will support him through him being a human. Didn't we talk about this last week, how Kirk Franklin said, I'm human too? Why everybody want to say I'm human too when they in some deep crap? Okay, let's just take a minute and pause for the people who are human. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there, because they use that as an excuse for their behavior, when really they should just be taking accountability for their actions. You cheated on your wife, homeboy. Take accountability for your actions. And instead of out here trying to please your fans, you need to be figuring out how you can help your wife, because she is at her tipping point right now, and he can't even see it. So when it comes to identifying red flags, you guys, you need to know what they are, okay? When somebody always loves to talk about themselves, they have a sudden obsession with you. They always talk bad about their past partner or their past relationship, which Derek did to these new girls who was in his inbox. He said his wife didn't want him. She wasn't good in bed. That they were divorcing and that she had left him and all these things. He was talking negatively about his wife, whom he was going home to at the other house across town. I'm just going to put that out there. And another red flag is when they're disclosing deep, personal, intimate information before it's too early. I mean, before it's time. Have you ever gotten into a friendship or a relationship with somebody and they're all of a sudden sharing all of this TMI and you don't know how to feel? Yeah, that's what narcissism do. And they do that as a means to try to win you over or speed up the relationship to become something, whether it be marriage, whether it be putting a title on a relationship or whatever. They want to monopolize all of your time. They want you to spend all of your time with them. They want you to actually forfeit your friends. So you become isolated, you become lonely, and next thing you know, 24/7 of your day is being spent with them. Those are the red flags, okay? When we talked about love bombing is when a person is the perfect gentleman in the beginning, or the perfect female, for those of you guys who are males that are watching my video right now. the perfect gentleman or a perfect female. They love bomb you. They shower you with gifts. They shower you with words of affirmation. They shower you with acts of services. Whatever it is that is your love language, they're going to show up and do it to the fullest capacity. People explain it as they feel like it's the best love they ever received. But I want to make this clear. It's a false fantasy of love. It's not true love at all. It's a false fantasy of love. But that is what they do in order to build you up to a place to make you fall in love with them. And I want you to know that narcissists, they do not have relationships. They have hostages. Let me repeat that. Narcissists do not have relationships. They have hostages. The relationship is very one-sided. For them, it's all about what you can do for them. But for you, you are very much so in a relationship when they don't have relationships. It's about what you are doing that is benefiting them at this time, in this place in their life. I want you guys to understand this. This is so important to know. And another red flag is they have no real friends. Okay. Derek Jackson, I don't know him personally, but I'm going to tell you right now, he had a lot of fans, and them fans ain't friends. And from the receipts that these mistresses have brung forward, he's saying that I want to be your friend. Okay. In exchange for sex. Okay. So that's not a real friend, okay? So you have to know that when it comes to these narcissists and them trying to manipulate you and pressure you into putting titles on the relationship, that you have to use your better judgment. You have to be equipped with the knowledge to know what is actually happening. But let me just take a minute, you guys. I'm going to go deep for a second, because what people don't ever want to realize is that you are what you attract. It's hard to really swallow that pill. You are what you attract. If you're broken, if you're desperate for love and attention and affection, if you have abandonment issues, if you got daddy issues, if you have all of these issues, guess what you're going to attract? You're going to attract a person who's going to feed right into those issues in which you have. And then you're going to wonder how you ended up in an abusive relationship or a narcissistic relationship. Well, that's because you've got some healing to do, baby girl or baby boy. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I'm saying that there's some work that needs to be done before you start trying to go out into the dating field and think that you're going to attract a quote unquote high quality partner. Okay. If you want a high quality partner, you got to be a high quality partner. You are what you attract. And I know a lot of people don't want to really realize that they be lacking in that area. They have all these residual issues from their past that they don't really want to work through. But you have to understand, you have to take care of you. Now, if you guys go on Derek Jackson's wife Instagram, she's got all these confessions. And I'm talking about these confessions go all the way back to 2019, where she's talking about how she had jealousy issues, she had insecurities, how she would go creeping on these other women's pages, the women she knew he was sleeping with. And she had an obsession for trying to be like them. Okay. She never felt beautiful. She even talked about how she felt she could do everything that they did. She would get her makeup done by the best makeup artists, get her hair slayed, put on a perfect dress that showed all her curves, but she could not emulate the dark skin. This is deep, you guys. When I was reading this, I could barely finish reading it because I'm like, man, we are talking about a girl who is so broken, right? So broken. It doesn't matter how much fame, how much fortune you have. If there is some stuff beneath the surface that needs to be healed, that needs to be dealt with, guess what you are going to attract? So everybody keeps saying, well, why is Derek Jackson's wife staying with him? Because she's broken. Okay? She's attracting exactly what she is. She doesn't see her self-worth. She doesn't understand that she is worthy of a man who will actually keep his penis in the pants. Okay? That is what she doesn't realize. So when I tell you that you are what you attract, I truly mean that. This whole situation with Derek Jackson and his wife is a prime example of how a broken person attracted a broken person, and now she feels like that is all she is worth. Okay? So when it comes to attracting a man who is worthwhile and attracting a man who will actually love you, or a woman who will actually love you, you got to know love comes from the inside out. If you don't know how to love you, how are you going to tell somebody else how to love you? How are you going to teach somebody else how to love you? If you don't have no self-respect, how are you going to expect somebody else to respect you? If you have insecurities, what do you think that you are attracting? You're attracting someone who's going to feed these insecurities. And just because they're feeding these insecurities does not mean this is what you need or this is what you want. You look up and you'll be 7 years, 10 years, 14 years in their case later, and you will find out that you didn't wasted away your entire life and you didn't lost your identity completely. I am passionate about educating people on the importance of actually doing the work to heal. You have to do the work to heal, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself living your life on repeat, attracting abuser after abuser, narcissist after narcissist, manipulator after a manipulator. You're going to find yourself going through these highs and lows of extreme infatuation of a person and brokenness, extreme infatuation and then brokenness. What do I mean by brokenness? Meaning your heart is broken, you're aching, you're miserable, you're confused. Okay. You feel like you've done all you can do for a person and they gave you nothing in return. I am not a person who's going to advocate that kind of lifestyle for you. I am going to advocate happiness, love, compassion, joy, worthiness, because this is what you deserve and this is what you should have. But you first have to recognize that within yourself. You have to recognize that within yourself. Now, you guys, all of this stuff is happening with these people who are in the public eye. You don't have to suffer with this in silence. You don't have to suffer with this behind closed doors. If you need help, reach out. You need to reach out. That's all I'm saying. If you need me to get on a Zoom call with you, drop a heart in this comment. You ain't even got to say nothing. I'm just going to go to your DM and we're going to set up that call and get you the help that you need, because you don't need to live your life on repeat. You don't need to live your life second guessing whether or not you're worthy of somebody who actually loves you. That is not what you deserve. Okay. That is not what you deserve. So I'm just here talking about this Derek Jackson situation, but I'm really here to educate the women and the men who may be going through times like this and they feel like they're suffering in silence and they're suffering alone. Like I said, equip yourself with knowing what the red flags are. Take an introspective look. Self-reflection is key. You got to understand, what is it that you bring into the table that is attracting this kind of behavior from people? What is it that is within you that is allowing you to accept this kind of behavior? When I work with my clients, we get real down and dirty. And I tell them, don't hire me if you don't really want to do the work. Don't hire me if you don't really want to do the work. Why? Because I know that it's hard work. It's hard work to say to yourself that actually I did allow that behavior because of X, Y, Z. It's hard to actually admit that. And a lot of people ain't ready to go there. You have to be ready to go there. And here's the thing. I don't want to see you living your life on repeat. I don't want to see you brokenhearted. I don't want to see you being miserable. I don't want to see you hurt. So I give a lot of free content. If you're not ready to do the work, I get it. I give out a lot of free content. Scroll through my profile, look at my videos, join my group. There's information out there for you to consume. But if you're ready to do the work, you guys, hit me up in my DMs or drop a heart in this video, because I want to help you. I want to make sure that you don't end up like Derek Jackson's wife. I want to make sure that you don't become the Derek Jackson if you are a man, because manipulation is something else. And don't get it twisted, you guys. This isn't about God. This isn't about religion. This is about man and his ego. This is about ego. This is about all of the things that are man-made. Has nothing to do with religion. And I think a lot of people get caught up in the he say, she say of what people say about God this and God that. And that is not what the true God that I serve. That's not a representation of what I know. Read it for yourself. I'm not going to go around Bible quoting scriptures and all of that, but I'm going to just tell you this. You read the word for yourself, and what Derek Jackson is portraying is not of God. He's using that as an excuse to prey on people, to manipulate people. And even still, like I said, he's using this whole infidelity scandal as an opportunity for him to promote a book. How? Why? Just no, no on so many levels. Okay. Clearly I'm heated, you guys, but I just wanted to come on here and really share some of those red flags for you guys who may not know, so that you can equip yourself as you go out into the world of dating. I know that my fellow millennials, I'm a millennial too. So, you know, I ain't hating on you. But what I'm trying to say is you need to know that you know that you have done the work, so that you don't attract an abuser, a manipulator, somebody who's going to take advantage of you, someone who is going to hurt you. Have you taken care of you first? Okay, we are talking about shedding codependency characteristics. We're talking about canceling, people pleasing. No more for that. Okay, we're talking about getting over the daddy issues. Hello, been there, done that. I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you it's a part of the process. I'm talking about actually doing the work to heal. Okay, not just hopping from one bed to the next, not just hopping from one relationship to the next, but doing the work to actually heal. You guys, you got to do the work. All right, that is all I have for you on today. I encourage you guys, if you feel led to research the Derek Jackson situation, and make sure you stop on over to Derek Jackson's his wife's Instagram page, so you can really see what it looks like from the eyes of a woman who is hurting. I know she says she loves him. They've put this all behind them and that they're working on their marriage, but her posts say otherwise. And I can see it from a mile away. I always tell people, you need to listen for what the person isn't saying. It's not about what they're saying, but what are they not saying? What is their body language saying? What is their temperament like? What are all of the things? We can't just go around believing everything that comes out the mouth. We all know that actions speak louder than words. So you need to follow the actions of a person and not exactly what they're saying. That is all I have for you guys on today. I hope that this has given you some information so that you can position yourself in a place to actually have the tools to be able to identify those red flags as you are in a dating scene. And if you need help with that, let me know. If you need more help with identifying red flags, if you are in a situation where you're questioning whether or not this is a healthy relationship, let me know. Let me help you. Okay. We are on a hashtag I choose me journey, and we are choosing healthy boundaries over being broken. This is your girl, Crystal Timberlake, and I am signing out for now. You guys have an amazing Friday night.